There's just these basic cadences of life that I think are really powerful and really, really valuable when you have kids in your life. And the fact that so many people, especially in America's leadership class, just don't have that in their lives, I worry that it makes people more sociopathic and ultimately our whole country a little bit less mentally stable.
Wow. Having kids makes you mentally stable is something only someone who is not the default parent would say. Because try working a full-time job, always tracking when the diaper's about to run out, what size shoes your kids wear, what they won't eat for lunch at daycare, which toy's their favourite, when the doctor's appointments are, when picture day is, which songs you have to sing to get them to sleep, how many child birthday parties you have to attend this weekend, and which ones specifically requested gifts. And also, if you leave the room, your child will scream bloody murder because you're the only one they want. I'm not saying kids can't give you a lot of things like joy, purpose,
and hand, foot and mouth disease, but mental stability is not one of them.
And when pressed on those remarks a few years later, Vance's answer wasn't great.
Your position on those family values have gotten a lot of scrutiny lately.
Sure.
You've talked about childless cat ladies. You've called childless people sociopathic, psychotic, deranged. And I know that you've said that those comments were sarcastic, but it's hard to hear those words entirely as a joke. What do you actually think of childless women in society?
Well, as I said when I made those comments, and look, they were dumb comments. I certainly, I think most people probably who watch this have said something dumb, have said something that they wish they had put differently.
And you said it over in several different venues.
A very, very short period of time.
Oh, well, you heard it here first, folks. If you're mean, dumb and wrong, but in rapid succession, it's actually fine. And as for everyone says dumb stuff, not like that, they don't. The normal dumb stuff people regret is usually things like Army Hammer is the next De Niro, or sure, I'll have a third Gordita Crunch, but not childless women are sociopaths. And if Vance really does want to make it easier for people to raise kids, there are things he could support. But he hasn't done that, and some he's actively opposed.
One of the ways that you might be able to relieve a little bit of pressure on people who are paying so much for daycare is make it so that maybe like grandma or grandpa wants to help out a little bit more. Or maybe there's an aunt or uncle that wants to help out a little bit more. If that happens, you relieve some of the pressure on all the resources that we're spending in daycare.
Holy shit, that is brilliant! Have family help!
How did no one think of this? Just call the grandparents who are definitely close by and alive, or maybe an aunt and uncle who don't have jobs or children of their own to deal with. We can now close every daycare in the country because America's most eye-lined boy genius just cracked the fucking code here. Pack a bunch of family members into your house to help out, not too many though, or Jdiii will get nervous if he lives next door.
And while he has gestured vaguely toward federal money to incentivise family to help out, I'll point out that hasn't happened.
And make it easier for people to shift spouses like they change their underwear, that's going to make people happier in the long term. And maybe it worked out for the moms and dads, though I'm skeptical, but it really didn't work out for the kids in those marriages.
Yeah, he said we shouldn't have made it so easy for people to leave violent marriages, which is just wild for multiple reasons, including, you know what happened before you could easily get a divorce?
Some women would kill their husbands.
By making divorce easy and accessible, what we
Definitely reduced is the amount of women in fabulous hats who claimed my husband fell ill suddenly.